section, this is section 9.9. So we're going to be looking at absolute value equations. I'm going to walk you through the line. There's just a few things we want to point out. So we're going to be solving absolute value equations and then solving absolute value with two absolute value expressions. Okay, so basically an absolute value, you'll see these two vertical bars right here, absolute value of x. It's dealing with the distance a number is from 0. And when we talk about distance, we're always dealing with positive. So that's what we say absolute value does. It changes negative to positive. Even if you have a whole expression in there, as long as it's set equal to a positive number, then when we solve it, we set it equal to the positive or the negative. That is because a number and its opposite both have the same distance from 0. Positive 3 is 3 away from 0, so is negative 3 is 3 away from 0. So we only look at the positive. That's why we call it absolute. So that's what this is saying. Before you can solve an equation, you need to change it to standard form. That means we're going to get the absolute value expression isolated on one side of the equation by itself. So as long as the absolute value is by itself, kind of like this is, and then it's set equal to the number, if that number is positive, then we will solve it, setting it equal to the positive and the negative. Because even if it was negative, absolute value would turn it positive. So you got two possible answers. Okay, so here Hawk shows you a few examples. I want to point out example C. When you have absolute value, this is what we call standard form. Absolute value expression is by itself on the left, and then it's set equal to a negative number. The definition talks about being set to a positive. Well, absolute value, again, is dealing with positive numbers. So there is no number that you take the absolute value of that's going to come out negative. So when you have this scenario, you're going to get no solution. And that's what this is saying. Okay, so if you see absolute value equals something negative, no solution. And then you will see some examples with two absolute values. So absolute value on the left and absolute value on the right. The same thing works. We're going to take this absolute value expression, and then we're going to set one side positive, or just leave it as it is. So just drop the absolute value bar, and then we'll do the same thing with making the other side negative. You don't have to do both sides negative. You just need to do one or the other, and it works out the same. So even if it's just one term, or if there's a whole expression, you do the same thing. You just set it equal to the positive or the original expression, and then you change the sign and make it negative. So when you have an expression, more than one term, you need to be careful to put it in parentheses, because that negative is going to get distributed throughout the parentheses and change the signs of all the terms. And then you have a few examples here with that. So we'll jump into Hawks and do a few modeling for you.